Imagine an operating system that deletes everything you did the moment you shut down, another that can secretly track files copied to a USB drive, and even one built almost entirely by a single man. Some operating systems.
Let's start with something Windows users might wish Microsoft would officially release. Regular Windows is powerful, but it also comes with plenty of features and background services that many users never actually need.
Weather widgets, background applications, notifications, and other processes consume RAM and CPU. That may not matter on a powerful PC, but on older hardware, every background process can make a difference. That's why modified, lightweight versions of Windows became popular. One famous example is Tiny 11, a heavily stripped-down 11 project designed to remove unnecessary components and make. With fewer background services running, some systems can use less RAM and CPU. For gamers, that sounds amazing because more available resources can potentially mean smoother performance and a more responsive system.
But there's a huge catch. Modified Windows builds are not official Microsoft releases, and downloading random pre-activated Windows images from unknown websites can be extremely risky.
You might think you're downloading a faster operating, but you could actually be downloading malware disguised as one. Some malicious installers can contain password stealers, keyloggers, or ransomware.
A keylogger can secretly record what you type, potentially capturing usernames, passwords, and private information. Ransomware can be even worse because it can encrypt your files and demand money to unlock them.
Now let's travel back to 2001, when someone tried to combine the worlds of Linux and Windows. The operating system was called Lindows, and yes, the name was deliberately very close to Windows. Lindows was a Linux-based operating system designed to run many Windows applications. Its interface was also designed to feel familiar to Windows users, giving people a way to experience Linux, but Microsoft quickly noticed the name. Microsoft argued that Lindows was too similar to its Windows trademark, leading to legal battles in several countries.
The dispute became surprisingly complicated because Windows is an ordinary word that existed long before Microsoft Linspire, and one of the most memorable operating system names disappeared.
Now things get much darker, because our next operating system comes from North Korea. It's called Redstar OS, a Linux-based operating system designed for use inside the country. Unlike a normal Linux distribution, Redstar operates within a highly controlled computing environment, isolated network environment, and uses its own browser called Nanara. One of its most unusual features involves files copied to removable storage. Researchers have reported that Redstar can embed identifying information into files to the computer it came from. Imagine sharing a file and unknowingly leaving information behind that could identify its source. In a heavily controlled environment, that becomes especially concerning when the file contains. Now let's switch from government-controlled software to an operating cybersecurity, Kali Linux. When movies show hackers typing mysterious commands into Kali is often the system people imagine. But Kali Linux wasn't designed just to look cool. It was built for cybersecurity professionals, penetration testers, with tools for analyzing networks, testing. Security professionals can use Kali to test systems they own or have permission to assess. But using those same tools against someone else's computer or network without authorization, and now we reach perhaps the strangest operating system on the entire list, TempleOS. Unlike modern operating systems developed by huge engineering teams, TempleOS. Davis spent years building the system himself, creating the kernel, graphics system, compiler, editor, programming language, and even games. He also created his own programming language, Holy C. TempleOS had extremely unusual technical limitations. Its display was fixed at 640 by 480 pixels with only 16 colors, and it and normal internet access. One of its strangest features was the Oracle program, which could generate random passages or words based on biblical text. Had a religious purpose, project unlike almost any other operating system.
Now imagine using a computer where almost everything you do disappears when you shut it down. That's the basic philosophy behind Tails OS, which stands for the Amnesic Incognito Live System.
Tails can run from a USB drive. It operates in memory, not leaving activity on internal storage. When the computer shuts down, information stored in memory is lost.
Tails also routes internet traffic through the Tor network by default, making online tracking more difficult. That's why it can be useful for journalists, researchers, activists, and others who need additional privacy.
Next comes an operating system that looked like it wanted to turn a regular PC into a Mac. It was called Pear OS, a French Linux distribution famous for copying many visual ideas associated with macOS.
The dock, icons, menus, and overall design were heavily inspired by Apple. Then, in 2014, Pear OS suddenly disappeared after its unnamed company had acquired the project. Finally, we reach one of the darkest examples, Phantom Secure. The company modified BlackBerry phones, and those devices became heavily associated with organized crime. Phantom Secure was eventually dismantled by law enforcement, and its CEO was arrested and sentenced to prison. From tiny Windows builds and government-controlled systems to privacy-focused Linux, bizarre